If you had to bet money on who would be the quarterback next year, who would it be? I think mine would be Trey Lance. I think he's going to be the quarterback no matter what happens this year. If I had to bet money, who would
I
you?
think it's going to be Tom Brady. I think it's going to be Tom Brady. Now, it's possible that Tom Brady retires, although he doesn't have pressure anymore to retire. The person that was really pressuring him the most to step away from football, he just divorced or is in the process of. So maybe part of the reason he's getting divorced is that he doesn't necessarily want to stop his career at any arbitrary date. Possible. And so we know that Tampa wasn't his first choice when he left New England. It was reported that he was interested in the Niners. And the Niners were like, you came off a down year. You look washed. We have Jimmy. We just went to the Super Bowl. We're betting on Jimmy's future. It was a bad bet. So Jimmy's gone next year. Of course they want to go with Trey Lance, but we've pointed out how his timeline is way different than Kyle's. And if Kyle has the fortune, if he's fortunate enough to get a 7th year to prove that he can win a Super Bowl, then he can't assume that he's going to get an 8th. Yeah. So that, again, puts Trey Lance in a tough spot. And if Tom Brady at 46 says, I know I'm coming off a down year, but I want to play for you, are you going to turn me down twice? I don't see how Jed and Denise and John and the other John and Kyle can turn it down twice. Because I think they probably already feel really stupid for doing it once. They handed a Super Bowl to Tampa that Tampa didn't need to have. Niners could have had that Super Bowl. So I think if Tom says, I want in, the Niners almost can't say no. And if Kyle pushes back, then Jed has to think, well, I'm not going to go there. I'm just saying. I just feel like if Tom wants in, it's fait accompli.
What about Aaron Rodgers? What if Aaron Rodgers wants?
It's trickier because I don't know how that works. You know, can he become a free agent? Is there anything you could trade for him? Would they want Trey Lance if you traded Corey? They have Jordan Love. I don't know how you get Aaron Rodgers. With Tom Brady, free agent, it's simple. Yeah. You know, he said, hey, I'm a free agent. I want to go to the – it could be like, I want to be on the West Coast, sort of close to my parents. Okay, well, Niners, Raiders. Got Josh McDaniels. Yeah. You got Josh McDaniels in Vegas. And you got – so, I mean, who wants to make the Raiders look terrible. Yeah. So the Niners should have an inside track here.
It almost feels like Brady would be like Niners or nothing. Either I can play for the Niners or I'm done. You know, that it almost seems like that's where he would go with it.
I don't know. It just feels like I don't have any inside information on this. I don't. It just seems like, look, we know he wanted to come to the Niners a few years ago. We know the Niners made a mistake, and they know it. Gotta know they know it. So is Brady washed right now? Like, I don't think he is. We watched that game last night. Yeah. It's not pretty in Tampa, but with the game on the line, he moved him down the field, won the game. They don't block well. They lost Gronkowski. They lost Arians. I don't know. I just feel like he's not washed, and you put him on this team, he'd be way better than Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance at first.
That means another year of waiting for Trey Lance to develop. Would you choose Tom Brady out of all the options? Jimmy Garoppolo, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Trey Lance. Who would you go with?
Look, I felt Trey should play over Jimmy because I always felt that Jimmy didn't give the Niners a legit chance to win a Super Bowl, which is why they made the trade to begin with. Yeah. If you have a legit chance to win a Super Bowl, then don't just play a young guy for the sake of development. Yeah. Like you bring in Tom Brady and like all of a sudden you have the number one odds to win a Super Bowl, and go for it, man. Get that ring. Are you kidding me? Because I don't know that you can build dynasties in the NFL anymore. We come from the dynasty era. We come from the 80s and 90s. Pre-salary cap. If you had a good team, you could keep it together for a while. I don't know that you can do that anymore. The only team that's had sustained success in the dynasty in the salary cap era is New England. And the only reason they had sustained success is Tom Brady. So unless you can get Tom Brady, I don't know what the formula is to keep your team, your Super Bowl window open a long time. Look at the Rams right now. Yeah. That could be the Niners in 2 years. So just get that ring now if you can. And
yeah, I think if the greatest quarterback of all time wants to come play for you, even at 46 years old, you just do it.
Dude, if you say no to him twice, you deserve whatever curse comes down on you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, we got to go quick. Flave says Mitchell, Wilson, Kittle, Jennings. There's a reason they were looked over in the draft by every other team. Who knows what they would be without Kyle Shanahan? Well, we're starting to see what Jeff Wilson's going to be. Yeah. He looked great yesterday. But yeah, he gets it. Him and his dad did this too with these late round picks, offensive linemen too. True. Official BDM Music says Jeff Saturday named Colts interim head coach. They fired their coach. Tell me they didn't actually hire Jeff Saturday as a interim head coach.
Really? Man, a lot of stuff's going on while we're on this show here.
Keneal Mason says, watching Fields continue to grow gives me confidence in Trey. Hope this time for Trey will allow him to fully tighten up his mechanics, throwing off wrong finger due to broken finger last year. Yeah, and the stiff front leg. Freaking Jalen Hurts had the same issue. Fixed it. Look at his completion percentage. It went from 52 to 61 to 68 now. That could be Trey. Josh White says, sorry I missed the Cohn phone. I had an epic rant teed up about Kyle throwing Jeff Wilson under the bus rather than taking any responsibility. I can't believe he really essentially threw Jeff Wilson under the bus. His fumbles is the reason they lost those 2 games. Flavia says, I think if Jim... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, while we're on the show, you're right. They named Jeff Saturday interim head coach, and Jay Glazer said he thinks the 49ers are going to be in a bidding war for Odell Beckham.
Wonderful. Flave says, I think if Jimmy wins the Super Bowl, he will probably take a huge discount to stay with us because of how much the fan base has appreciated him this whole time. Okay, let's see him win the Super Bowl first. Black Orchid 772 says, Tom would be a great mentor for Trey, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, it's freaking Tom Brady.